Halo guys,
غدا
Assalamualaikum
تنسى.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back again in our weekly event, namely Weekend Tips Talk from especially this event from IDN. I'm Huzaifa, as your host for today's event, and I'm delighted to be here with all of you. Of course, I'm not alone here, and then Fatan Karim in here will be our main speaker for today. In this session, we will covering an exciting topic: how to configure Jellyfin as a media server with Ubuntu. For those of you looking to learn how to set up this open source media server and optimize it on the Ubuntu operating system, this is the perfect opportunity. Fatan will guide us step by step through the configuration process, guys, sharing tips and tricks to ensure Jellyfin runs smoothly as your digital entertainment hub. Okay, maybe let's start with Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And then for Fatan, time is yours.
Oke, Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Uh, Welcome back again. And before I get started, I will introduce myself. My name is Fatan Karim. I'm from 11th KG, and now I'm as the speaker for today as giving a material how to make a Jellyfin as a media server with Ubuntu or by TasaOS. Okay, before I start the tutorials, I especially need to do have the there's a little bit introduction what is Jellyfin, Ubuntu, and TestOS. And maybe I don't need to take long because maybe if I explain more, it will be taking more time. Okay, let's get started to the topic. Before I start about this material, I want to talk about its Linux because this tutorial it's based on the Linux, and you know that Ubuntu is running on the Linux. Okay, so what is Linux? So Linux is like a free open source operating system. It developed by a worldwide community of developers. This is a Linux like operating system. It has using a Linux kernel, which is operating system used on the servers and supercomputer system. And this Linux kernel it was released in 1991 by Linus Torvalds, and these things are already used many in worldwide, maybe around 200 million user using Linux, and because that Linux is open source and it's free, modifying and making a customized operating system with Linux. So this is example, the company or maybe some partners who using Linux or like Linux distribution family, sorry. And this is the example list of the Ubuntu operating system based on Ubuntu. Like usually we using like phone, it has Android, and as you know, the Android it's used Linux based since 2003, and Ubuntu in it was released on 2004 with the Linux 2, and many things that people already use more with the Linux, and also many operating system using Linux because why Linux is free and open source for all peoples. Okay, so now I will talk about the operating system that we want to use. That is Ubuntu. This is we want to use the Ubuntu as media server later. So this is like a short explanation. This is Ubuntu server is a Linux distribution developed by Kernel Shell Ltd, the company behind Ubuntu. Ubuntu server is intended for uses as server operating system and can be used for the various purposes such as web server, application, database, virtualization, and more. So I talk about the media server. So actually, Ubuntu can do more like other like media server. It can use like for media web servers or maybe like virtualization, and maybe you can do more like yeah for people usually hacking or maybe something or maybe for cybersecurity, for example. Okay, so here the requirement for this topic we need to have three components in software, which is the first is Ubuntu as operating system, and that's OS. It's like the web UI extension for Ubuntu, and the Jellyfin, which is the media server extension for Ubuntu. Okay, so here, this is the explanation. The firstly is JustOS. So if you don't know JustOS, so we're gonna try to see here. We can search on the Google. Okay, so we can go to JustOS. And if you still don't know what JustOS is, this is like a personal cloud OS. It's like the extension for Ubuntu operating system. Like usually, if you're using Ubuntu, you using CLI, right? Like if you log in or maybe something, you using like many commands, and you must remember in the band because usually Ubuntu not using graphical interface, which is only using like terminal, and you need to remember all the commands. But just OS resolve all of this because why? Because this extension for Ubuntu server is making all of them as a UI. So if you go to the deep here, so it's like many things that you can use with just OS. It can use for media server, web server, and many more. So this is like extension for the server in here. You can use other like this, so you can use for backup server or maybe for other else. So in here in JustOS, it has the inbuilt app store. So if you don't want to download from the outside from here, so the JustOS already have the uh, in app store inside the JustOS. Okay, maybe there's short explanation here. So this is comparison of TestOS within terminal command. Okay, and that's all. So about the Jellyfin, we will so about Jellyfin, it's like media server. So this is like open source media server. So if you want to make like media server your own or maybe on local media server, so you can use the Jellyfin because why? This Jellyfin is open source too, like the Ubuntu. Okay, so that's short explanation. Okay, so let's get started for the material here. So in here, I will give you the device, the requirement device to use this topic. And firstly, we have three components. There's a client, router, and the server. Okay, so this is we have a client. So in here, I using a client. This is client that I use as laptop, and it connected to the router, which is I use the MikroTik router board. And here for the configuration for router, I use the basic configuration. It should be connected for all these devices. And the third is the Ubuntu server, which is this is other clients that connected locally to the router. And here we allocate the IPs in here. The first IP that connect to clients, which is using 192.168.58.0. This is typo, yeah. I use 75 here for right now. So now for Ubuntu server, I use 192.168.70.0. So this is all of them is connected dynamic IP. So it not so this all client is not use static IP. It means using the dynamic IP and request IP from server using DHCP. Okay, so now let's get started for the setup of the server. Okay, in here, for example, I want to set up the server because this server doesn't have Ubuntu OS, and now I want to install Ubuntu server via bootable. Yeah. So here there's like a many setup that you can do in here because this is using CLI and using keyboard. And if you want to set up like Ubuntu server operating system, you don't need mouse because you can navigate with the keyboard using up and down arrows and enter to OK and like that. So this is example of setup when you new on the Ubuntu server here. So this is like samples, and this is selection of the IP address in Ubuntu. I use DHCP last time, and this is allocating the disk. So I use entire disk, and this is like example when you configuring the storage. So all of the explanation is this. It's outside, so I will explain later. Yeah. And this is configuring the profile or user and password in Ubuntu. and this is about the Pro, so we skip. And SSH configuration, I use it and skip this. And this is example when we installing the Ubuntu OS. Okay, now we already install the Ubuntu here. Okay, now we want to configure the router. So now if you want to configure router, I use a Winbox. So now so make sure your laptop has been connected to the router, which is I connected UTP cable to the Ethernet 2 yeah. So because I use MikroTik router board, I connected to the Ethernet 2 to the client. So because I reconnect, let's connect to Winbox first to configure IP yeah. Okay, so now we want to open Winbox, and now let's start to the access to router here. Okay, so here I want to show you how to configure if you don't configure yeah. Okay, so if you want to see the connected device, you can go to the interface, and here you can see the interface that you can use because there's only four interface, so it's shown here. And this Ethernet 2 it used for connected to the clients, and the Ethernet 4 is used to connect it to the server that I explained last time. Okay, so now if you want to allocate the IP or make the IP address, you can go to the IP addresses, and now you can set the IP that I already shown before. And for Ethernet 2 to the client, I use 75.0 yeah last time. Okay, so this is IP, and make sure for all of this interface, don't forget to set the DHCP server. So all of this, all of these client have the IP address automatically. Okay, so here I configure. Okay, so here I configure the interface for both of interface. In here, if you want to configure the DHCP server, is another topic. Yeah. Okay, if you want to see the connected device, you can go to the lists in here. So you can see the given IP addresses and the active host, which is already given the IP. Okay, so as you can see in the Ubuntu server, which is alias things center, it use IP 70.2. So don't forget to access with this IP. Okay, so let's get started again. Because we already installed the Ubuntu server, so we can go to the CSRS first. Okay, so before that, when you log in SLS, I want to log in SLS first. So there's two methods to log in SLS. The first you can to log in locally from from the server, and for the second you can use SSH. So you can open terminal and you can log in with the command SSH user and add with the IP. So this is use IP yeah, the given IP. So make sure you don't forget. Wait, sorry. Okay, this 70.2. Okay, and there we go, yeah. Okay, so now make sure you already log into the Ubuntu console. And now, because there's no extension ChasaOS, so we can go to the ChasaOS website first, and we can simply copy this command. You can just click copy, and later we can paste in here. So because I already installed, so we can just skip this step, and let's go to login. And now, if you want to enter the ChasaOS web UI, you can just enter the Ubuntu IP, like I said before. So because using 70.2, so we access 70.2. Okay, make sure you log in. And if you are already first in the Ubuntu server, so you might given the new and password user. So this is separate from the configuration user in Ubuntu. So ChasaOS, maybe if you are new in the Jasa OS, maybe you will ask the password, a user and password. So this is separate configuration. Yeah, it will be not follow user and password from the Ubuntu. So maybe if you want make this just same from the Ubuntu. Okay, let's try. Let's try login first. Okay, so now we already logged in to the Jasa OS environment, and this is example the Jasa OS environment. See, and here we can see all the application installed, and between the files and the App Store here. So this is the interface. If you are new, if new, it looks like no many applications because this is still new. And we go to the App Store here. Okay, because we already access to the ChaSOS, and now the next step we want to install the Jellyfin. So if you don't have a Jellyfin, you can simply go to the App Store, and here you can see in here the available application for ChaSOS that I already support. And now we can simply just search Jellyfin. Um, you want to use the normal one because why not NVIDIA GPU? Because this application it's only intended for GPU NVIDIA, yeah, if available. So we can just click the Jellyfin here. And now, if you didn't have this application, you just click download or maybe install and click this button. And because I already installed it, so it will be shown in the home screen. You can go back, close the App Store, and if you already installed it, it will be shown in the home screen. So because I already installed it, we can go simply open the Jellyfin. Okay, so the next step, because we already installed the Jellyfin, you can just to start to configure Jellyfin to configure the media server. Okay, so before here, I want to show you later the file placement for the media server because if you want to place the file for the media server, you just need to follow the steps. Okay, so now we just get started to configure this Jellyfin. And the first, we need to select the preferred language. I use English here for this time. And now, because this is still new and there's no user and password, so we can just to make username password. For example, I want to use Ubuntu ya, for example, or maybe Kang server and password. Um, it's circuit ya, server for example the password. And now we are already configured the username and password for Jellyfin, and now we need to do is set up the media server. I mean media libraries. So if you want to know your media libraries, you can back again to the ChaSOS tab, go to files, and now if you want to put some movies in here, you can just go to medias and you can just go to the movies here. Okay, if you want to place the file from your client into the server, you can just do file explorer here. And if you want to put your videos like maybe something or files or movies or something, you can just simply drag from file explorer and paste and release in the movies. Because in the ChatsOS, it also support the drag and drop support. So if you want to drag files instantly, you can just drag from the file explorer and release in the ChatsOS environment. Okay, because here I already placed the files. For example, in the media, there's two folders. There's IDN, which is only for IDN topic, and the second is movies folder, which is a movies film, yeah. Okay, we can go back again to Jellyfin, and now we need to set up the media server for the first library. So now, for the first library, we can just click add here, and now we need to choose the content type. For first, we pick the movies and just display name to movies here. And now click the folders to directly navigate the media. So okay, for the first, we want to add movies folders first. We just select the paths for the movies paths and click OK. And for setting in the down here, we just leave it, yeah, don't change it. Okay, and click OK. And now we add the library again. So maybe for the second library, this is for only for IDN demo videos. So we can just click add new media again. And for this, I use movies or maybe shows, maybe not show, home videos and photos. And now for display name, I want to change it. For example, IDN project, yeah, IDN project. And now for IDN video, we just do directly navigate the folders only for IDN videos. So because I put in the media IDN, so we can use as like patch to media IDN. Okay, there we go. And for here, we just leave it like this. and click OK. Okay, and because we already set up the libraries, click next and select the language, your preferred language. I click in English. And second, we need to select the countries. For example, I use Indonesia, yeah, because we are in Indonesia. And now keep this setting and done. Just click finish. Okay, because we are done to configure, we need to resign in again, which is using the Jellyfin account, not Ubuntu account, yeah, Jellyfin account. Now server, server. Okay, there we go. So now we are the login to the Jellyfin here. So as you can see here, this like not all the movie is showing. So why? This is a system from the Jellyfin. So like this like system of metadata. If you want to put like movies, for example, yeah, if you want to go to movies here, for example, we put the film Battle of Surabaya, and in Jellyfin, if we import this film, they will determine the film and search the worldwide using API, and in here they will discover what film it is, and they will put the description automatically, and when the release date automatically, and many more. Okay, so because we already set up here, and if you want to set up more, we can just go to the user and we can go to dashboard. Okay, it's only here. If you want to setting more, you can go to here. And simply here, we can go to the, if you want to configure like libraries, we can just go to libraries in here. So this is all the configure libraries. And because that I already make these two libraries, so there's two. Okay, and I want to give you some tips. So this forum in here, if you want to naming some folders. So the first is, if you want to make some movies folder, for example, yeah. So if you want to make like directory of maybe file that you want to place, so make sure you follow this, yeah. So this is like forum from Jellyfin to tips and trick to placement the files directory. For example, I want to make a movies file, so we can go to the media and movies, and we just pulled all of this film, which is go to the here. And for the naming of the file, the first word is name of film. For example, Stand by Me Doraemon 2, which is released in 2020. And we must name for the name, and we must name like this, yeah. Stand by Me Doraemon, and with the year of the release, yeah, which is 2020. And now, if you want a multiple version of movie, so you can make like this, yeah. Make the folder movies and make a subfolder again, best movie ever, and for example, this movie ever, and with the year of release. And in the inside of this folder, there's like many difference. Like the first video is has full HD, and this is HD and director's cut. Yeah, for example, yeah. And also for other movies, same like this. This is like example of file placement or a file making, yeah, in here. So if you want to see the forum here, you can go to the jellyfin.org/doc/general/cyber/media and/movie. Yeah. Okay, we can go check again to the jellyfin here. So as you can see, in the movies, you can see all of them is already at. Okay, maybe you can refresh. Okay, as you can see here, so so all the movies are the ad. So why the ID project it has the thumbnail which is incorrect? I will show you here. So I will show you example. When we add some movies to the Jellyfin, there's like service of API that can automatically use there's like automatically to configure the name and the year of release and also the description, yeah. And as you can see, Uh, actually, when I import the file, there's no metadata like this. So the Jellyfin, when detected this film, they will automatically put the metadata automatically. So this is how it works. We can go back again to the configure here, go to dashboard, and if you go to the libraries, so we can go to movies, for example, yeah. So there's like metadata downloaders. This is a system that I already said before. When we put some movies and when your original file doesn't have like metadata and you import the Jellyfin, they will automatically put all metadata from here. So you can see in here, there's like metadata downloader service for movies. Yeah, there's two APIs. There's like the movie DB and there's also the Open Movie Database. And this is free, yeah, and it's enabled for automatically. Okay, so now for the last, so how to configure these all thumbnails, yeah, because as you can see here, so in the libraries you can see this like icons. So if you want to configure like these icons, so we can go back again to the dashboard and we just go to the um, libraries, and here we can just to click the edit image, and here you can to import the image as you want, yeah. So this is usually when we make these libraries, usually it will be add automatically. But I think if you want to add manually, you can just go to library selection and click edit image, and we can to just drag your image, yeah. For example, I want to add image like this, yeah. Um, maybe like this lah. I will drag here, just for example, and click finish. And if you go back to if you go back again to the home screen, as you can see, it will change. But in here, make sure if you want to make it fit from this box, if you are a designer or maybe you make a design, so make sure you make the design fit like this, yeah. Okay, so the last is if you want to config a many user, because why? For example, I will just choose Netflix, yeah. So Netflix it has the many users, yeah, and it used for multiple peoples. So because it in the Jellyfin we are only config the single user, so we want to config for all users here. So we can just go to the add user. For example, I want to make user for TKJ, so I just make user TKJ and of course the password. And here this like library access, this is like the privileged access, yeah. So we can go to the library access and now click save. So for example, for the TKJ, it has only to access ident project. So when we log in with this TKJ user, it will not show the movies folder, so only ident projects. But if you want to show all libraries for this user, you can just check the all enable all access to all libraries. Okay, for so because I want to test, so I want to this user only access to ident projects. So just click save, and now this is all of the roles for this users. And now let's start again to log into the other users. So if you want to access, you need to do is copy and paste this IP and port. So we can paste this, copy paste this IP, and we just do incognito window, and we just need to log in to the other user, KJ server. As you can see, when we log into this user, it has only or it has only ident projects only, yeah. As you can see here. So I want to see here if this user not configured for admin, as you can see, these all options are hidden, yeah. So I want to make this user as admin, so we can go back again to the main user, and we can check all of this, yeah, as you want. For example, I want to allow this user to manage the server. We can just click check here, and I want to this user to access iLibraries, so um, we can just check all of this access, yeah, go to access and enable access to our libraries, click save, and let's try to relogin again. Okay, there we go, yeah, the movies folder has been shown. Okay, so that's all for me, yeah, for how to set up media server. And here maybe because why this is short, because this is the simple to configure the media server, and I don't want to make it hard, so we just end it here. So at least we already make the media server and it can use for the other clients to access here. Okay, so is it already done? So I think this all material is already done. As you can see, it's already working fine. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's all for me for how to set up media server with Jellyfin in Ubuntu. And thank you guys for apologize to listen to my topic. And see you in the next video uh, and WTT. And and the last is sorry when I have mistake from the first until the end, and I apologize to all of you all. And the last say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. What a good material, Patan, about uh, configuration with Ubuntu. And then, okay, maybe this is it from us. Thanks for your attention. I hope who's watching this video can understand and then can take a lot of benefit from our material. Okay, and then thanks for your attention. Uh, I'm Josefa as a host in this WTT and my friend Patan Karim as a speaker. See you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
ذكر وموعظة ونور فيه شفاء للصدور وشفيعنا يوم النشور